It never fails. Each and every school year, a teacher does something or is accused of doing something that really makes principals scratch their head and wonder how in the world did this person get past the hiring process? Why do we make the decision to hire this individual? Every year, every year, I guarantee you, there is a story about a teacher somehow restraining one of their students, oftentimes using duct tape. So here we have a similar story, a modern day stockade. Lawsuit reveals Pennsylvania teacher's disturbing punishment of a black teen who fell asleep in class. The parents of a black high school student are suing the Williamsport area school district in Pennsylvania after their son was strapped to a medical backboard by a teacher for appearing to sleep in class. The incident occurred on May 28th in the classroom of Richard Cascara, who was hired by Williamsport area high school 3 weeks earlier to teach the Homeland Security program of the school's career and technical education program. Cascara had no prior teaching experience and held a temporary teaching certificate that did not require any education credentials, according to the lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court in Pennsylvania on August 21st and obtained by the Atlanta Black Star. Now, these are concerned parents here of the student, Paige Woods and Nathaniel Woods. The class was taking a test that day, and the minor plaintiff, a junior, identified in the lawsuit as NW, his name is Nathaniel, same as his dad, asked to use the restroom multiple times but was denied. The boy then put his head down on the desk. Cascara reacted by having another student place smelling salts under the boy's nose, according to the lawsuit, which noted that the student had several significant allergies and was under a 504 plan. In Pennsylvania, 504 plans provide accommodations for students with a qualifying disability to ensure they can participate in educational programs. Now, we'll stop right there. Here, it looks like we've got a situation where, as it mentioned before, they're taking a test. Perhaps this student is finished with the test and needs to go use the restroom. For you teachers out there, in these situations, I know especially you newer teachers out there, you may be thinking, a student doesn't really have to go to the bathroom. You know what? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You don't want to be the wrong end. You don't want to be on the wrong end of a situation where a student needs to go to the bathroom and something goes wrong, and doing the investigation, the principal can work back as they do the investigation, and they can go back to the starting point of this incident. And the start of it was the teacher wouldn't let the student use the bathroom, because you just never know if you're going to have support from your principal. You don't know if you're going to have a principal with a strong back, or you may have a principal with weak knees and they just fold under pressure and they throw you under the bus. So this is a mistake. And I know it mentioned that the person didn't have a teaching certificate and whatnot, but I think that in this day and age, I think most of us know, but there are some out there who don't know that you should not withhold the restroom from students. And now here you have the lawyer's going to do his job, right? They're going to do their job. So now we're throwing the 504 on top of that because the student wasn't allowed to go use the bathroom. So they put their head down, and it looks, I would imagine, that they're finished taking the test. Now, to react this way, this guy he's gone. He's totally gone. And you don't have to be a teacher to understand that this is not a good decision to have another student, what you wonder, what kind of environment are we creating here by having another student do this? Place smelling salt under the boy's nose. That can cause, that can be very hurtful. That can hurt. You take a really good whiff, especially with you not understanding or not knowing that it's under your nose. That can hurt. So to have another student do it, I don't like the environment that we're creating there. And then also, on top of that, the student has several significant allergies. So you combine the allergies with the smelling salt. That's not a good idea. That's not good. It's not looking good. And this is alleged, but let's read on because we're it doesn't end there. Nathaniel Woods III was the name of the student. According to his attorney, Joseph Montgomery has ADHD as well. Keeping his head down during unstructured time is a strategy to emotionally regulate. Montgomery, whose practice focuses on special education matters. When the boy didn't raise his head fast enough, the teacher directed students to secure Nathaniel to a medical backboard, immobilizing him with a strap at or just below his neck. Cascara then turned the backboard 90 degrees, making it vertical. The minor was forced to stand on his toes to avoid the strap pressing on his throat and was left in this state for several minutes, the lawsuit says. He later said he had to feign coughing to get Cascara to let him down. This is ugly. This is ugly. It goes from bad, you're not letting the student use the restroom, and you're putting smelling salts unknowingly under his nose and directing another student to do this. What is this, military school? What are we doing? Again, alleged. But there's a lot of people inside that classroom, a lot of witnesses inside that classroom, and if in fact something like this did happen. I hope it didn't happen. But strapped to a backboard, raised up 90 degrees, he's choking. It's hard to breathe. He's having to balance himself on his toes. Before allowing the boy off the backboard, Cascara allegedly asked, "Are you going to stay awake?" Now, see, the thing about this that I don't understand is Cascara he's been in the classroom. He's substituted. If you substituted, you understand. Because largely a lot of those assignments that are left, like there's plenty of time. Once the students finish those assignments, there's plenty of time for the students to do, independent work, talk amongst a group, play on their phone, whatever. As a sub, you understand that. So for this guy to go the extra mile to keep this one individual student awake, I don't get it. About a dozen students witnessed the incident, the complaint said. Sure, it took place in the classroom. Everyone's going to look at you. See a student strapped to a backboard and it's raised up 90 degrees. Nathaniel was sent out of class for asking to use the restroom and was given a 0 on the test administered that day. He was also required to serve detention for being sent out of class. Wow. The boy went home and told his parents, Paige Carol Woods and Nathaniel Woods Jr., what happened that day. They were reportedly shocked and upset and contacted school faculty and administrators demanding an explanation. Alicia Differ, the associate principal, was astonished to learn from the parents of the students' version of events and got Matthew Fisher, the school's director of career and technical education, involved. That would be the supervisor of Cascara. Paige Woods and had several conversations and meetings with Differ and Fisher over the days that followed. Differ and Fisher spoke with Cascara about the incident, who allegedly did not see the... This is, again, allegedly, who allegedly did not see the wrong of what he did, the lawsuit says. Cascara also reportedly said that he was holding the student to a higher standard than his peers, because also reportedly said... The student apologized to Cascara, the complaint states, and on May 30th, his mother told Fisher that it was only fair for Cascara to apologize to her son for what he put him through. So, wow, what you're seeing here is the parents are willing to drop everything. I don't know. I feel like there's some things that are missing here, but nothing would ever justify restraining a student to a backboard. It just feels like some things are missing here, because why would the mother told Fisher that it was only fair? So the student apologized to the teacher who strapped him down, allegedly. And now the mother is asking for an apology for what he put him through. And it seems like the parents are willing to let it go at that. Interesting. Fisher indicates this was a reasonable request and directed Cascara to do so. Go ahead and apologize. The following Monday, Cascara informed the student through an internal message that he had until 3 p.m. to take the makeup test, but then forced the student to complete the test before the end of class, the complaint states. What's going on with this guy? Like, he made it worse. I mean, it seems like the parent was willing to drop it. By Tuesday morning, Cascara still had not apologized to the boy. His mother again contacted Fisher and Differ regarding the apology and the reason for rescheduling the makeup test. Cascara was unable to explain his reasoning for the timing of the tests. In a subsequent meeting with the student, Fisher and Cascara allegedly told the boy, oh boy, here we go. I apologize, but when I saw your head down, I went into scenario mode. What? The excuse that he was in scenario mode does not mesh with his prior statement when he conditioned the student being released from confinement on a promise not to sleep in class, the plaintiffs argued. Cascara became irate and emotional during the meeting, the lawsuit says. This guy. Both parents then met with Cascara and Fisher, who allegedly pulled them aside and asked them to remember that Cascara had only been teaching 15 to 20 days. What? What does that have to do with this? People who've been teaching 15 to 20 days, they don't, I would say 99.99999% of them understand that if a student needs to use the restroom, you let them use the restroom. And if they put their head down during a test or whatever, because in response to you not letting them use the restroom, you do not strap them to a backboard and lay the backboard and stand the backboard up 90 degrees, making it hard for the student to breathe if they don't stand on their toes. This is ridiculous. Dr. Justin Ross, head principal. First of all, what should have happened is, you know what? We're suspending you pending an investigation. Why that didn't happen, I don't understand. You've got multiple witnesses in the class who saw what happened. So that's grounds to say, hey, you know what? You got to go home while we do this investigation. Dr. Justin Ross, head principal, allegedly told the student that he should give the teacher a chance. What? What does Cascara have over these people serving in administration? Oh boy. Montgomery said Cascara was a substitute with a temporary license and should never have been allowed in the classroom. Well, that's strong, because there are substitutes with temporary licenses. They're doing a great service. They are helping out in a huge way. When districts are in a pinch, as we deal with this teacher shortage. This is a Cascara problem, is what this is. Among other deficiencies, Montgomery said, the teacher did not have a copy of Nathaniel's 504 plan, which would have informed him that the student has ADHD and requires special accommodations, including extended time for test taking. Now that's on that, and special thanks to our special education teachers / case managers out there. Thank you. Because I know personally, I did that for a couple of years. I worked as a sped teacher. I was okay, with the teaching part, but with the case management part and the paperwork part, I failed at that part. And so, I don't know. He was supposed to have a copy of it, and he didn't have a copy of it, and that's never a good thing. So for you new teachers out there, just understand, if you have students in your class who have IEPs or 504s, you better have a folder in your desk that has all of that paperwork ready to go, just in case someone comes in and asks you, hey, do you have a copy of so-and-so's 504 plan? Yes, got it right here. As a matter of fact, look at it each and every day. I refer to it whenever students in my class. It's just right. I keep it just right here, right in front of me. So I'm joking there, but you need to make sure you know where it is. What that instructor gave his class that day was a lesson on bullying, said the lawyer. Cascara's courses are currently being covered by a long-term sub. The complaint says the school board accepted Cascara's resignation at a meeting on August 12th. Since the incident, Montgomery said that Nathaniel's parents perceive that their son has lost his usual spark. Okay, so they're going after some money. So district, just be ready. They are a super supportive family who spent their lives building up Nathaniel's spirit and self-esteem spiritually, religiously, in the community, athletically. He was just a ball of energy who has always made people smile. Since the incident, there's been a death of that spirit. He feels defeated, to blame, although he's absolutely not. He can't understand how an adult could do something like this to him, just putting him in a modern day stockade, publicly embarrassing him in front of the entire class. So yeah, there's a lot more there's a little bit more there, but I mean, you get the idea. So we'll follow up with this story and see how far this goes and see what kind of judgment the parents are able to get. But I mean, the nerve of this guy Cascara, I mean, wow. Yeah, that's just unbelievable. Again, that's not a temporary sub or temporary licensed teacher problem. That's a Cascara problem. That guy's got an issue. If in fact this is all true, he's got a huge problem, and it looks like administration should have acted a little bit faster in dealing with that guy and getting him out of there. I mean, I don't understand. It would be hard for me to support a teacher who did something like that. But anyways, we'll keep an eye on this, and as we get updates, I will share them with you. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next update.